Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving sort of a beginner's guide into shooting 35mm film. I'm going to try and keep it as quick as I can as well, just because I don't want people to get bored. I'm going to cover the basics of the two main types of cameras, the film, how to load them two types, and then sort of what to look out for when you're looking at buying your first one. Right then, so the first thing we're going to look at is the main two types of 35mm cameras, which you might have seen. The first one is point and shoots. So point and shoots are literally, as it sounds, you point and you shoot, press the shutter button. They are quite minimal in what you can do. For example, this Canon SureShot Max, which is maybe my favourite one, it has the on switch. You can turn the flash off and then you can take a picture. That is it. I like this because it actually has autofocus. Some point and shoots don't have autofocus, it's just like a fixed infinity, sort of like you get on disposable cameras. So if you're trying to take photos of things that are closer, then they might be out of focus, but with this it does focus itself, which is nice. Then we have these, which are SLRs, or sort of the proper cameras, like the predecessors to the digital DSLRs that you see out and about now. With these, you have the choice of it being fully manual, or on some of them, like this one, you can have it on automatic. You can change your shutter speed, your aperture, you can rate your ISO to different than the film stock to get a desired look, whether you want the image lighter or darker, and you can change the lenses on them, and obviously you can focus these yourself. With SLRs though, they tend to not have autofocus. It usually is manual, where you just sort of move the lens around like that. The SLRs, I will say, are slightly more expensive just because of what you get. They tend to range from like £100 plus, and then the point and shoots, you can pick one up for like £40 up to £100. I probably won't pay any more than that. So we'll take a quick look at 35mm film if you guys have never seen that before. This is what it looks like. All the film is in the canister there, and what happens is as you're taking a photo, this tab just gets pulled, wrapped around something else inside the camera as it exposes it, and then when your camera's finished, either in the point and shoot, it'll wind the film back inside here, or with the SLR you have to manually wind it yourself. The number on the film is the speed, so this is 200, which is kind of just like the ISO. If you're shooting point and shoot, I'd recommend getting 200, 400, something a little bit higher, just so it's more sensitive to light, as most point and shoots have kind of fixed or only 2 or 3 shutter speeds. And then with sort of the SLR, you can get lower speeds like a 160 or a 50, just because you can have it on the manual settings and do things like longer exposures where you don't have to risk sort of the slower speed film with motion blur and things like that. I'll quickly just get some 35mm that's been developed. So this is what 35mm film looks like when you get it back from a lab as well. You might be able to see some of the photos on there. All of this is pretty much what is wrapped around that canister. And once you get it scanned and developed, this is how it comes back, all nicely cut and ready for you to sort of file away. With 35mm, most rolls are 36 shots per roll. If you load it well, or if you load it in the dark or something like that, you can probably push it to like 37 or 38. And then you've also got some rolls like this Kodak 200, which is only 24 exposures, so it's a little bit less on this reel, and it is also cheaper. Like this costs me, I think it's £6 a roll, and then other rolls like Portra 400, which are more popular, they can cost up to £10 to £11 a roll. So The price does change depending on how many exposures you get per roll and what sort of quality it is. So loading the film in a point and shoot is very easy. All you need to do is open the back up like that, take your film, pop it in, press it down, make sure the end of the film is over the take up spool, and then all you do is just simply close the back, and then if this camera was on, it would then wind that film on and then be ready to shoot. Most point and shoots have a little window here just so you can see what film you've got inside your camera and what you're shooting. But yeah, as easy and as quick as that. Okay, loading your film into your sort of SLR now is a little bit trickier than the point and shoot and takes a little bit more time. So you open the back, and you'll see there's a little hole in the bottom there, that's for the top of the canister to go in, and then you can push the thing down just so the film's not going to go anywhere. And then just like with the point and shoot, this time you have to actually pull it across a little bit, try and get it on the spokes of that reel at the back there, and then with this one there's a nice little bar that I can just feed the film through, hold the film there a little bit, and then if I was to wind this camera on now, you'd see it takes up the film, and then after a few more winds the camera will be ready to shoot. Once you see that it's caught on once and going round, you can usually be safe to close the back and then do the other winds. But yeah, it takes a little bit longer, and some cameras can be a little bit fiddly to get this the film caught on the spool, but once you've done it a few times you do get used to it. So we'll just finish on some things to look out for when you are looking at purchasing a 35mm camera. The main one is just making sure it works and that it's in good condition. Making sure it's film tested as well. So some people sell them as fully working but not being film tested. I only will buy cameras which have been film tested because that means it is actually taking photos. If it's just down as working, that could just mean that the person who's selling it has turned it on and it works, but then not actually taking any photos with it, so it might not actually create an image. With SLRs, something I look for is making sure the light meter works and things like that. And if you're buying an SLR with a lens, just making sure the lens is in good condition. Now, most SLR lenses are on the older scale, so they can have things like dust and fungus in them, and most definitely scratches. So try and find one which has none of those. Most listings on eBay will show you that. You can also find cameras like the point and shoot on Depop is a really good place. There's like proper sellers who only just sell film tested point and shoots on there, so it is a good place to find things if you're looking for a point and shoot. I've tried to keep this video as short as I can, and I think I've covered sort of the basics of getting into shooting 35mm film with the cameras, how you load them, what sort of the film sort of means, and the prices and things, and where you can pick them up. I hope you guys found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.